when you talk about the Lakers franchise, we still talk championships, and that's not the talk around town now. So a decision is going to have to be made on, going to move forward. If you're going to rely on him and him only to win championships, you're not going to win. So I think, starting now and going up to All-Star, they need to make a decision like, okay, he has the ball, Austin Reeves, and then, make him like the third guy. But enjoy watching him. Personal friend, seen him when he came in high school, played with him for 2 years, great guy, great leader, always does the right thing. He's a family guy, first-ballot Hall of Famer, and we're just going to enjoy him. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
That's right, Coach.
Bill Belichick.
I mean, he might get Belichicked. That's a new word we made up today. Might get Belichicked.
I'll tell you this, too, and I've said it before, just in talking about LeBron and Bronny. I love working with you guys. Have for decades, but nothing will ever match working with my dad.
Ooh,
doing Braves games back in the '90s. Nothing will ever touch that, and so.
Well, way to make us feel good.
I can appreciate.
Way to tell us to our face.
I know. I can appreciate LeBron.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down a moment that's equal parts hilarious, insightful, and absolutely blasphemous if you really think about it. We're talking about this clip right here from the NBA on TNT crew, where Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny Smith start off talking about LeBron's future with the Lakers, and somehow end up questioning whether he's a lock for the First-Ballot Hall of Fame. Yeah, you heard that right. They jokingly floated the idea that LeBron James, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, a four-time champion and four-time MVP, might get Belichicked. Let's rewind and set the scene. The conversation starts with Chuck talking about the inevitable end of LeBron's career, how he's accomplished everything, but that the Lakers as a franchise are still judged by championships. And he drops this truth bomb. If you're going to rely on him, and him only to win championships, you're not going to win. Now that's a cold, hard, and arguably accurate basketball take. It's about roster construction and the burden on a 39-year-old superstar, even one who's LeBron James. Chuck suggests maybe it's time for the Lakers to make LeBron the third option behind Austin Reeves and, well, someone else with the ball. It's a pragmatic, almost ruthless basketball evaluation. But then the conversation pivots. They're praising LeBron as a person, a leader, a family man. Shaq calls him a first-ballot Hall of Famer. And that's when Kenny Smith chimes in with the casual, "You never know," just those three words. And Shaq, playing along, says, "That's right, Bill Belichick." And then we get the moment. Charles Barkley, with that iconic grin, says, "I mean, he might get Belichick checked. That's a new word we made up today." Belichicked. Referring, of course, to the greatest NFL coach of all time, Bill Belichick, who shockingly did not get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a first-ballot inductee this year. Now, let's be 100% clear. This is a joke. They are laughing. They are not serious. Shaq immediately offers LeBron a job at ESPN if it happens. But the fact that this joke even lands, the fact that it gets a big laugh, is what's so fascinating. It reveals a deeper, unspoken tension in how we evaluate all-time greatness. Think about it. Why did this joke work? Because for a split second, it tapped into a real, albeit irrational, fear. We've just witnessed the most locked-in first-ballot Hall of Famer imaginable in another sport get delayed. It created a precedent, however flawed the comparison is. The Belichick snub shattered an assumption we all had. That automatic, unanimous, first-year induction for the undisputed GOATs of their fields. It introduced doubt where none existed before. So for about 5 seconds, the TNT crew allowed us to play with that idea. What if the unthinkable happened to LeBron? It's the ultimate, wait, could they, moment, even though the answer is a resounding no. This leads me to my main point for the next few minutes. The Belichick joke isn't about LeBron's resume. It's about the voting process and the weird, often petty human element of these institutions. LeBron's resume is bulletproof, but Hall of Fame votes, whether it's the NBA or the NFL, aren't just about checking boxes on a spreadsheet. They're voted on by people, journalists, former players, executives who have biases, grudges, personal criteria, and sometimes just weird ideas about what first ballot should mean. Some voters hold the belief that first ballot should be reserved for a tier above even the Hall of Fame itself. They might argue, well, did he change the game single-handedly, or was he the undisputed best player of his era for a long stretch? And with LeBron, as insane as it sounds, you'll find contrarians. There's the six finals record crowd. There's the he formed super teams crowd. There's the Jordan never lost a finals crowd. These are arguments we debunk daily, but they exist in the ecosystem. The Belichick snub showed us that a small, determined group of voters with an alternative criteria can block a first ballot induction. Furthermore, the joke highlights the difference between the NBA Hall of Fame, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, and others. It's not just an NBA hall, it includes international, college, women's, and contributor categories. This sometimes leads to logjams. While it's hard to imagine anyone being deemed more worthy than LeBron in any given year, the process is less predictable. But here's the counter-argument, and why LeBron is arguably the safest first ballot lock in sports history. His case transcends statistics and rings. It's about global cultural impact. He entered the league as the chosen one and has lived up to and exceeded that hype for over 2 decades. He's a billionaire athlete businessman, a social activist, an entertainment producer, and he changed how players think about career agency and power. He's a narrative. Denying him first ballot induction wouldn't just be a snub, it would be an act that delegitimizes the Hall of Fame itself in the eyes of the public. The backlash would be catastrophic. In the end, the Belichick joke is brilliant TV. It takes a hot-button current event, applies it to a completely different sports icon in an absurd way, and gets us all talking. It's Chuck, Shaq, and Kenny doing what they do best, mixing real analysis with hilarious provocative banter. But let me know what you think in the comments. Am I overanalyzing a throwaway joke? Or does this actually reveal a sliver of doubt about how any athlete, no matter how great, is perceived by the gatekeepers of history? Could there ever be a scenario, no matter how unlikely, where LeBron James isn't a first-ballot Hall of Famer? And while we're at it, who in sports today is truly Belichick-proof? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and subscribe for more deep dives into the moments that define sports culture. Thanks for watching.